In Activity 6, Weight, students sort objects by weight. Students first use an equal arm balance to compare the relative weights of various objects and then arrange these objects according to increasing weight. You will need the following materials from the kit. Activity Sheet 6, equal arm balances, square blocks, birthday candle, feathers, shells, plastic spoons, and sorting trays. You will also need to provide the following materials: property words chart, crayon, felt tip marker, and scissors. To prepare for the activity, make a copy of Activity Sheet 6 for each student and place the following items together in a sorting tray for each team of 4. A square block, a birthday candle, a cork, a feather, a shell, and a plastic spoon. Each team of 4 will need an equal arm balance consisting of an arm and a pivot and a sorting tray of items. You will also need a crayon and a pair of scissors for an opening discussion. To begin the activity, introduce the word weight as a measure of how heavy an object is. Then, review the weight words on the property words chart and ask students, what are some other words that tell us about weight? Students may mention words such as pounds, tons, heavy, and light. Hold up a pair of scissors and a crayon and ask students if they think the scissors or crayon is heavier. Make sure to tally and record responses and then ask, how can we tell which of these two objects weighs more than the other? Students may suggest picking the crayon and scissors up in each hand to compare the weights, or may just suggest weighing the objects. Next, have 2 students take turns picking up the crayon and scissors and comparing their weights. Ask students which they think feels heavier, and record their answers on the board. Then inform the class that they are going to find out which object weighs more using a special device called an equal arm balance, and that an equal arm balance can be used to determine which of 2 objects is heavier. Demonstrate the use of the balance by placing the scissors in one pan and the crayon in the other. Students should observe that the pan with the scissors went down and may realize at this point that the scissors went down because the scissors are heavier than the crayon. To reinforce your students' understanding of the equal arm balance, compare the weights of other objects in the class until students realize that the object that weighs more always makes the pan go down. Next, distribute an equal arm balance and a sorting tray of objects to each team of 4 and a copy of Activity Sheet 6 to each student. Using the balance, instruct students to compare the relative weights of different objects and determine which is the heaviest and which is the lightest, and have them record their results on their activity sheets. Note that students may need some guidance with this exercise. Explain that students can only compare the weight of 2 objects at the same time, and that they must weigh all objects against each other at least once to determine which is heaviest overall and which is lightest overall. After all groups have finished weighing the objects, ask students which object is the heaviest, which is the lightest. Students should identify the shell as the heaviest object and the feather as the lightest. Next, have students arrange the objects in their group from lightest to heaviest. Again, offer assistance as necessary. Even though at this point students know which objects are the lightest and heaviest, make sure the students reweigh all the other objects against each other to determine the correct ordering. Finally, in question 3 of their activity sheets, have students draw a picture of each object along the line, ordering the objects from lightest to heaviest. And make sure to review the student responses once they have finished their activity sheets. To conclude the activity, return all materials to the kit and remember to leave the property words chart on display in the classroom. For science background, reinforcement activities, curriculum connections, and information about the science reader, please consult your DSM Teacher's Guide.